Welcome back to Mornings at A&C. Fortune 500 consultant, author, speaker, and award-winning music producer Tom Oliver joins us this morning to talk about, well, a long list of things, right? First off, we'll be talking about how he has successfully merged his business consultancy with music for profit and charity. Mr. Oliver has been invited by the United Nations, the European Parliament, China, and Austria to speak to world leaders. He has also been tapped by many of a world brand, one of them being Google as a leadership coach, as well as being one of the guys that top MBA students clamor for to take his classes. The list continues. There's so many things and so many hats that you wear, really, Tom. So I want to say good morning, welcome, and thank you for joining us here at our Rockwell studio. I know there's a long list of things that you do and many hats that you wear, but most notably, you know, Fortune 500 consultant to some of the biggest brands, really, for companies all around the world, and not necessarily just a leadership coach, but you know, here you are, kind of spreading your your message as a consultant on how to really hone certain brands and appeal to the world market, right? I mean, is that in a nutshell? Is that fair enough?
Absolutely.
Of an intro? Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the wonderful intro. I work with the best global brands, from Johnson & Johnson to Coca-Cola to Google and Silicon Valley, basically around the following topics. One is innovation. What are the secrets behind innovation and creativity? You know, most businesses think that innovation is a linear process. You know, you go through a 10-point plan and outcomes, fantastic innovation. What are actually the secrets behind innovation that have made Apple or Google so successful? How can you as a business transfer and apply that to your organization to consistently produce innovation at the highest level, not just when you see that there is a problem, but actually always innovate. So you can go from good to great to extraordinary and always produce innovation at the highest level. That's one. Number two is obviously HR and millennials. We all know that's a tough one, you know? That's a tough one. How do you attract the top talent and the best people? Attracting them is one thing, but then how do you appeal to their hearts and minds so they stay with
them,
you?
yeah.
You know, exactly. Retention is a big problem also for a lot of my clients in the Philippines. So I work with some of the major brands here in the Philippines, and basically all of them come to me and say, we have a problem with retention in HR. How do we attract the best, but also keep the best, especially when it comes to millennials? Because let's face it,
the attention span is quite short when it comes to the millennials. And no offense, to our millennial audience who may be listening in, but no, that's true. I mean, and I think that's the culture that's cultivated by the digital age. Always, just a whole slew of opportunities right and left for millennials that they can't necessarily can't keep their interest without maybe developing interest and maybe a new passion every so often, right?
Right, and you got to tie them into your story. You have to clearly define to them what is your purpose, why are you here, what is your organization about. Millennials want to be excited, right? They want to be part of a journey. They want to be part of making the world a better place, as simple as that may sound. This is why companies like Google and Apple have been so successful for many years. Google has been ranking as the top one company in the world where the best graduates want to work. Why is that? Because Google has
free food.
That's true. That's true. That's a good one. But Google also has a very clear vision and mission statement which resonates with the top talent and the best people today. They feel that Google has a place in this world and is relevant and will be relevant for the next 5 to 10 years. That's why they join. You've got to do the same with your company in order to attract the best and keep the best, especially millennials. You have to clearly define what is your purpose, why are you here, what is it that you can offer them. Because let's face it, the top talent and the best people do not work for the best pay anymore. No, they want to be with the best global corporate citizens. They want to be with the companies that matter, that make a difference, and that have a clearly defined place in this world.
Of course, I mean, I know I have this, chat with many friends. You want to be part of, you want to feel like you're part of change. You want to feel like you're motivated. You have a purpose for being. That to you is the answer to really kind of appealing not just to consumers, but your own corporate culture and making sure, as we mentioned, that you get the best talent and that you retain the best talent, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, so there's a whole number of things that I know we've been having a lengthy chat about even before we got on camera, but it must be quite challenging. I know that you've personally faced certain challenges as far as appealing to people because you have the World Peace Foundation, which you started, which is your nonprofit, and you're telling me that you draw from your artist background as a musician, singer, songwriter, and that's kind of created that unique, the unique personality behind, the unique passion behind the World Peace Foundation, and coincidentally, your other businesses.
Absolutely. So I grew up basically having two careers, right? I'm an award-winning music producer and have basically headlined a lot of the biggest music festivals around the world as a live performer, singer, and songwriter. But also at some point I had a vision to do something, to create the World Peace Foundation, to make the world a better place. And you know what, in the beginning, I didn't have a big name. I didn't have a big network in place. I don't come from a rich family. So what do? You have a vision, and then you have to sell that vision to others. How do you do that? How do you get people excited? How do you build global movements? Well, in the way, it's the same as an artist going out on stage. If you look at a rock band like U2 or Coldplay, they go out on stage and they have to tune into an inner vision of what they want to get across. Otherwise, it's just a very dry, sterile performance, right? So in order to put on a great concert, they have to be in sync and they have to get this vision across to their audiences with passion, emotion, and clarity. So in the end, when you build up a global movement like the World Peace Foundation from scratch, purely based on a vision, you have to do the same thing. You go out and sell that vision to others with passion, enthusiasm, and clarity so they can catch fire, right? So you have to appeal to the hearts and minds of people, and rock star brands like Apple do exactly the same thing when they appeal to the hearts and the minds of their consumers. So you have this rock star brand phenomenon where consumers camp in front of the Apple stores in New York City 2 days before a new iPhone comes out. It's amazing. No other brand has that rock star brand quality. So you can actually transfer music and philanthropy one-to-one to business. That's another area which I teach to my global clients.
And granted, there's a difference between having, a genuine passion for something, really believing in something, versus pretending that you really believe in something. And that's kind of the difference between. I mean, you can see it in people, you can see it in individuals, you can see it in corporations, in a corporate culture. But there is, as you were saying, that emotion that needs to be evoked with certain groups of people. But it has to be genuine. It has to be real, or else it comes across phony.
Absolutely.
Music plays a big part in your business consultancy. How so?
Well, a lot of clients ask me to come in and do a keynote workshop and consulting and tie in music. It's not a must, but a lot of the clients know my experience and history as a music producer and live performer. So I use live music, playing piano, singing, using songs to illustrate the secrets behind creativity and innovation, but also how to passionately engage consumers with emotion. So we were just talking about the rockstar brands. Now, after innovation and HR, attracting the best, keeping the best, the third area of my global consultancy, working with the best brands around the planet, is about how to appeal to the hearts and minds of consumers. How do you create an experience for millennial consumers that really gets them excited? How do you build brand loyalty? How do you get them excited for your products and your services? And as you said correctly, you have to do it with emotion, with passion, and it has to be honestly felt. This is what Apple does so well, but any brand, any organization can do this. It doesn't take that much. It just takes a clear understanding of the principles and the mindset behind these secrets.
So I'm curious, as much as you can share with us, how do you do that? And how do you use music as a tool, as an example, in your talks? To show the passion. I know music obviously is your first passion, your first kind of love, right? And fortunately, you've been able to keep that right alongside everything else that you're doing.
Correct.
So how do you use that in your talks?
So let me give you a simple example, right? One, for instance, is innovation. So what I do is I decode the secrets behind innovation to to the audience. So when I'm in front of my clients and work with my clients intimately, what I do is I show them that actually what are the basics of a song? How can you play a song in a very rigid fashion, but out comes very, dry music that doesn't get you excited? Or how do you play around the chords? How do you improvise to create that innovation that truly gets you to another level? How do you do that in a corporate setting? And what are the secrets behind that in music? Now, let's take it to HR for a minute. Cooperation. When you make music in a band, there is a certain magic to it. When everybody at some point moves as one. We call that jamming in music, right? That's when real music is made. That's when the best songs come out, the best breakthrough innovations.
That's when the tears come from the fans.
Exactly. Now,
that's
how
when
do
you find in the stands kind of
Exactly.
crazy.
Just did a big event for Coke, 10 Coke CEOs 2-3 days ago. And what we did, we got everybody on stage, and at some point, everybody was kind of spontaneously jamming together. And then I was explaining to them how you can transfer that to creating an environment in your business that allows for true cooperation. Because let's face it, a lot of businesses lose so much productivity because there's so much conflict and friction. People don't understand each other. They don't work well together. So you have to establish an organization and a climate and a culture that allows for this. That's not too rigid, but also not too free.
Too free, yeah.
It's got to be the right mix.
I was just going to say, you can't have necessarily an organization where you have free spirits kind of roaming wild. At what point do you, need to kind of hone everything in so that you keep your organization in place, right?
Exactly.
Well, I know we maybe are running out of time, but what's important is I think there's a whole slew of topics to talk about. This isn't the first time that you're in the Philippines. I sure hope that it's not going to be the last. How do people, really kind of get in touch with you? I mean, I know you're so busy going from one place to the other. Coming back to the Philippines anytime soon?
I am actually. In 4 weeks I'm back because I have a range of other client events, and we're actually setting up permanent operations in the Philippines because we've been swamped with client requests, so it's been challenging to accommodate them all. But people can reach me at tom@tom-oliver.com. Very simple, tom@tom-oliver.com. Website is www.speaking.tom-oliver.com, so speaking.tom-oliver.com. And again, email is tom@tom-oliver.com. But I'm going to be here regularly now, and I love the Philippines, so it's a great place to come back.
So we'll be seeing much more of you around spreading your music and advocating innovative culture.
Exactly, and actually, showing the brands how to get millennials excited for your product, because I think a lot of brands miss that connection. They don't understand how you tie in young consumers. How do you get them passionate? How do you get them excited about your product? So it's very close to my heart.
My last question before we have to go. You worked with the top brands all around the world. You've also worked with a number of big brands here in the Philippines. How does the Philippine market compare? What makes it unique versus the other markets around the world?
Great question. You have in the Philippines, you have one great value, which is family. Right? A lot of the other countries, whether it's the U.S., whether it's Europe, a lot of countries don't have that. But that's great. Why is that great? Because when you look at HR and your human resources, your people, it's great because you can use it to create a corporate culture of family where people feel united. They work towards a common cause. That's a good thing. But you have to use it in your HR processes. Attracting the top talent, but also keeping it. You can use that value. Now, let's talk about consumers. One of my clients being Jollibee. Jollibee appeals to that, obviously, to the whole family values and joy very successfully in their business. But they do it honestly. It's honestly felt, and it appeals to consumers. That's why it's such a popular brand. But other brands can do that as well. How do you use that? How do you tie in the value of family in your communication when communicating, especially to young audiences?
Right.
That's a unique thing about the Philippines, and I teach my clients how to use that to successfully get their business to another level and get consumers excited.
Yeah, and as well as, what's really important is that you taking the time to uniquely decode the culture of whatever business it is that you're working for, to find out really what's at the root. Walking away from this chat, not just from a business consultant standpoint, but basically knowing your purpose in life is what drives you forward, right? The more that you actually understand and know what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, then as a business, as an individual, you're much better off. You're sending a message, a clear message to the people around you, right? More can be found in Nothing is Impossible. This is the author speaker. This is the author part of you from the many hats. So check out this book as well if you are interested in finding out more of what you preach, right? It's been a pleasure. I know we're running out of time here, but I hope to have you back on the show in the future as well as see you around. Nothing is impossible. Thank you for the reminder, to tune in to that inner purpose, inner voice of purpose. Thank you so much. Hang on right there. I know we weren't able to sing our song here. We're going to have to keep that for next time.
I would love to do
our Lionel Richie sample of our singing next time. All right, now thanks a lot, Tom Oliver. After the break, Apollo takes us into a haven for bike and coffee lovers. Keep it here. You're watching Mornings at ANC.